Welcome to Rage Against the Mainstream, your full spectrum source for all things music, insight, and opinion. Today's date is August 9th, 2021. My name is Bill, and I'm joined here today with Steve.
Greetings.
So in the past week, have you encountered anything new or interesting?
Yeah, the good thing about the time off and the lapse that we took with that season break, man, over the summer, just there's so much stuff out there coming out, so much good music. I had mentioned, Kanye dropping the new album, J. Cole's new album. I talked about Iron Maiden's new stuff, but I am a connoisseur for extreme metal of earlier remnants from like the 80s and the 90s of the traditional death metal and black metal.
No way.
Wouldn't believe it.
Who would have thought?
I wouldn't have either. But Dark Throne, one of my favorite black metal bands, who's kind of always been on this cusp of traditional death metal with their earliest work, have released a couple albums as of recent. Most recently, a few months ago, they dropped an album called Eternal Hails this year, and it's a 5 song album running 42 minutes. It's typical Dark Throne of what their newer stuff is becoming, more of like an immortal, crustier black metal, death metal hybrid format. They're not like a traditional black metal band anymore in the sense. Well, the stuff's good. Like I'm always about, I consider like metal, like songs and bands like this are like comfort food for me, basically. Like you can eat mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Potatoes in any kind, really. Like hash browns, French fries. Like
I don't discriminate on potatoes.
Exactly. So when I get something like this, it's just, it's nice to listen to.
Exactly.
Like I'll branch out to new bands from time to time, but when I hear a band that I'm already a huge fan of coming out with a new album, I'm listening. You're damn right. Fucking listening. So yeah, Eternal Hails by Dark Throne. Definitely check it out.
Nice. So in the break between seasons, or maybe at the very end of last season, Garcia released a new album, Magma, and I started diving into their back catalog, and I found the album From Mars to Sirius. What drugged me to that album was the fact they had a song called The Heaviest Matter in the Universe. And as we all know, the heaviest thing in the universe is the breakdown and domination.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a ballsy statement. I don't think it holds up to domination by any means. But,
I don't think anything ever will, to be honest with you.
Dude, it was funny because I remember back, what was it, last season before, I had Justin Longshore from Through the Eyes of the Dead on the show. And he was telling me they were thinking about covering a Pantera song. And I jokingly said domination, and he kind of brushed it off. And I think he realized, or maybe I realized, and he already knew, it was just something that I had to catch on to. You're not going to cover domination.
You can't.
You can't even be Through the Eyes of the Dead and cover domination.
There's not a single band out there that could cover that song and do it justice.
No.
At all.
Absolutely not. I don't even think fucking Phil Anselmo and any of the 10 projects he does could cover domination.
Ironically enough, there is rumor circulating of a Pantera formation, almost tribute style, with Phil
and Rex.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
That's honestly, if the greatest sports athlete ever lost his legs. Be nice to see him out there, but he's not going to fucking perform.
Well,
because he can't. He just can't. Dime and
you're
Vinny,
missing half of the band.
But even that, it's more than half of the band. It's that entire band only functioned because of every member in there.
Exactly. And obviously, Rex Brown playing bass, he holds down the groove. But the ultimate groove in that band wasn't from Rex and Vinny. It was from Vinny and Dime.
Yes.
And Rex was just there.
Yes.
And I don't know. I saw something about that. Then I heard Zach Wilde would play guitar and blah, blah, blah. But
I would go see it.
It would be
fucking
cool.
why not? I just like it's like anytime you see a cover band, like an opportunity to hear those tunes in a live setting as opposed to just a fucking
CD
digital play of it in a bar. You know what I mean? But this was interesting because we were talking about Gojira. And now we're stressed out about this Pantera reunion reformation thing going on.
So
Gojira.
So back to Gojira for a second.
Poor fucking band can't even get its own spotlight.
I've been a fan of this band for a little while. Their last album, the one before it, I really enjoyed. For those of you that don't know, I believe they are from France. Yeah, they're French. Eco metal, earth metal.
Yeah,
it's all about saving the environment,
Yeah.
save the whales. Justice for humans and all this other shit. And
a lot of humanitarian work going on there.
And like I can dig it. Everyone's got their little niche. Everyone's got their thing they do. I can't bash them for it. I like I said, I enjoy their music. I do like them as a band. And Gojira.
New and interesting.
New and interesting. Not really new, but definitely interesting.
Definitely interesting. Always interesting.
On this day in music history.
On this day in music history, August 9th, 1967. At England's National Jazz and Blues Festival in Sunbury, Jerry Lee Lewis is kicked off the stage after the overenthusiastic crowd responds to his set with a near riot.
I love hearing stuff like that because, you think about how tame Jerry Lee Lewis would be considered in today's day and age.
God,
you know what I mean?
dude.
I love hearing stuff like that because, we only get it in hindsight of being able to see what a musician was back in the day and what they are considered on today's standards of fucking.
And this is towards the tail end of his career, too.
Dude. But I'm a fan of Jerry Lee Lewis. I like his stuff, but it's hilarious. I love when I read shit like this. It's so funny. 1986, at the Knebworth Park Festival in England, Queen play their last concert with Freddie Mercury, who dies 5 years later. An audience of 120,000 hears them close out with "We Will Rock You" / "We Are the Champions" and "God Save the Queen." Yeah, man. I think Queen. See, the thing with Queen is with me that's tough, and I always harp on this. They're so good, but they're such a greatest hits band.
Yes.
All of their albums, and I don't think anybody, and it's the same thing with the Eagles when we talked about it last week, Queen 1 and Queen 2, those albums, the different colored gray and blue ones with that symbol on it. Those are typically the albums you'll see in anybody's house because nobody I know who's even a Queen fan could tell you track by track on their studio albums. But that's the thing. Queen was that fucking good that they're overshadowed in the ability to put out studio albums, and they were just such a fucking greatest hits band, but they released so many greatest hits.
Yeah.
So many songs. Just never put a full album together. A Night at the Opera is great.
Yeah, Night at the
But
Opera.
most people are listening to that for Bohemian Rhapsody, and, it's just, there's not a lot of, fluent flow to the albums that they release. Yeah. Jazz is good, too. But even so, that was definitely a band that, due to circumstances, was cut way too short because I think Queen could have been huge.
Oh, yeah.
Even bigger than they were if they just kept going. Because Freddie just had those pipes, and Brian May, phenomenal guitarist, man. They could have done so much.
They could have broken into the U2 realm.
100%.
And I probably wouldn't mind it if Freddie Mercury was force feeding songs on my iPhone.
No, I wouldn't. No, if I woke up,
mind.
I'd be pissed because I'd be like, you know what, you fucking conform. But I would listen to it. I did nothing. Why do you have to bring this up now? Now I got to think about this. I got to drive home. Think about that album. I could not delete from my fucking phone from my perfectly structured
It's the running
library.
thread on this show.
Oh my God.
It's always been the running
hate
thread.
That, dude.
That's so funny.
Christ.
1995, Jerry Garcia of the Grateful Dead dies of a heart attack at age 53. His voice fills the airwaves as millions of deadheads mourn.
Yeah, this was a crazy story because he was actually, I believe, in a treatment facility when this happened.
Well, contrary to popular belief, he was not feeling fine.
Absolutely not.
Or he wasn't all right.
I always thought it's hilarious, though, because, I got friends, who dabble in the heroin.
Yeah.
Know a few. And Jerry Garcia, you know, the whole scene of the Deadhead, you know, era was like, that was just like the hippies. They just smoked weed, took their hallucinogens, but like Jerry was like a hardcore fucking drug addict.
Yeah.
A lot of them were in that band, and there was constant hiatus and constant struggles. But it's sad because if you read the story on his death, like he was actually trying to get help. He was in a rehabilitation facility at the time when he had this heart attack, and I think he actually died in the treatment center, I believe.
That sucks.
Like, well, I mean, they got him out of there at the hospital, but he was like dead by the time he got there. But yeah, I mean, Grateful Dead, that's another, like, you either love them or hate them. Or,
yeah,
like,
I never saw it.
I can dig the Dead, like, I can listen to them, but I like the way people like them.
Yeah.
Like, the same thing with Fish, dude. Ugh, I can't do Fish at all. But, nah, Dead's great. Jerry Garcia, 95. Rest in peace. Going forward now to literally the same year.
Same day.
Same day?
Same day.
Is it the same day?
Yeah.
It has to be the same day, right?
Yeah.
Because it's on this day.
Exactly.
Duh. That was stupid.
Who would have thought?
Interesting. And new. 1995, same day. The original members of Kiss played together for the first time since 1980 when Peter, Chris, and Ace Frehley joined the current band to record their MTV Unplugged special, which is later released as an album, Kiss Unplugged, obviously. Not counting Ace Frehley's 1976 wedding, it also made the only time the original members have performed without makeup.
You know, it's funny because we always mention, you know, the Unplugged and stuff, and I never even thought about Kiss Unplugged.
Because it's not, you can't put that in the comparison of the Unplugs that we bring up.
No.
Think about it. REM has a fucking great Unplugged. I never bring that up.
Mm-hmm. Well, Kiss, dude, I don't know. I've never felt Kiss to be like an amazing band. I never felt them to be like...
They're like the Beatles of hard rock. They
pretty
were
much,
just,
yeah.
Yeah.
They're just like a disposable type band.
But they were trailblazers to an extent on certain genre ability.
Who would have thought they would have been the fucking main influence for black metal fucking, you know, look? Who would have thought?
Yeah, I needed to like do some research into that because there's no way that that's the correlation into black metal. I don't get that. Like, you had fucking Venom release that album, and then what did some band say? Like, yo, let's release music a little bit darker, but Kiss is doing something over there.
Yeah.
Maybe we can take that too.
Well, I mean, I honestly think with the whole Kiss thing, it was the whole, like the stigma around them, like the Knights in Satan's Service type shit.
True.
And all that other bullshit. That's probably what it was.
True. Yeah, like these guys.
And in all reality, Kiss wasn't even the heaviest shit America had to offer at the point in time.
We know what the heaviest shit was.
Yeah.
We already talked about that.
Oh, that's funny.
We challenge you to cover Domination by Pantera and send us a clip.
If you can cover Domination by Pantera, I'll give you full-blown half a season where we'll just talk about you.
100%.
If you can make a cover of Pantera's Domination and wow us.
Blows our fucking minds.
I'll personally fly you out here.
And we'll like give you a shout out on every show, and we'll give you a 0.002% ownership of our company.
It ain't happening.
Yeah.
It ain't happening. No one can do it.
Hit us up on our social media.
Moving forward here to 2005, Nickelback released Photograph, the first single from their album All the Right Reasons. Inspired by a drunken snapshot, the song is about Chad Kroger's memories of growing up in a small town in Alberta, Canada. Look at this photograph. You know what's funny? I remember Vine. You remember Vine?
Of course.
The funniest Vine I'd ever seen at that point in time was like, it was just, look at this graph.
So that was what I was going to bring up too, because this song and that image of the music video, it's just interesting, like how things evolve in the meme culture, and how he basically, that's like famous for its own reason now.
Yeah.
As opposed to like probably 60% of the population has no idea what the fuck is that from. You know what I mean? But it's interesting because I was somewhere the other day and we're listening to this shuffle on an Amazon thing. I'm trying not to give credit to where credit's not due. But this Amazon thing was playing music, and that song came on. What's the name of the song?
Which one?
What's it actually called though?
This is how you remind me.
Is that really what it's called?
Yeah.
I thought it was like a different title. But that song came on, and I was like listening to it for a moment because like there was other shit playing, like Red Hot Chili Peppers was coming on, Nirvana was coming on. It was just like a 90s station, I guess. Yeah. And that song came on randomly. and I was sitting there having my coffee, and like I wanted to change it, but I'm like, let me give this a fucking chance. And it is interesting because that was a huge song in like my childhood.
Yeah.
And I was like sitting there listening to it, and I'm like, it's really bad, but it's like
catchy.
I can fucking dig it. Like I also think too, from musician standpoints, like when you write a song of like such
caliber,
yeah, like anybody would have been proud of that, you know?
Oh, dude, are you kidding?
Like this song, Photograph. If someone had the ability to write that song and to become what it became, who gives a fuck if you become like the most hated band in the world?
Yeah. Well, that's always been my thing with Nickelback, dude. I mean, it's been said since the very beginning of the show that I'll stand behind. I'll go to bat for Nickelback. They really don't deserve as much hate as they receive. It's not their fault. They're good at writing hits. I mean, It's not their fault. They're good at writing really fucking catchy songs.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, I'm not gonna go out and fucking buy their albums. I'm not gonna even put a fucking copy on my digital download. But they're on there. They made a shitload of fucking money.
Yep.
Gotta respect that.
Exactly.
Especially this song, man, because it's just, you know.
Bro, they fucking sell out shit when they play.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, it's so funny, though. For a band that's so universally hated, they still sell out arenas.
100%. I would love to know, like, what percent of the fan base is just there just to, like...
Be ironic?
Yeah, not even ironic, but even, like, talk shit on this band regularly. But they're, like, in a cloak, like... You know what I mean? Like going to some swingers bar or something. Yeah, like going to see Nickelback. Like telling his wife, like, I'm going to go out with the boys. We're going to go watch the Eagles game. And just going to a Nickelback concert by himself. She thinks she's cheating. Yeah, she thinks she's cheating on him. She finds like pictures of him by himself at the Nickelback concert. It's probably even worse for a marriage, to be honest with you. Cause serious issues. Jumping 3 years forward in 2008, in an interview, the Calgary Herald, Full House actor David Collier claims that he is the subject of his ex-girlfriend Alanis Morissette's hit 1995 song, You Wanna Know. Morissette won't confirm or deny the mystery man's identity, but tells Entertainment Weekly 55 people can take credit for that song, and I'm always curious about why they're doing it, but Dave is the most public about it.
Will she go down you in a theater?
Are you thinking of me when you fuck her?
Is she preferred it like me?
All right, so
will she
I think
babies?
Jagged Little Pill is a fucking great album.
Yeah.
I think that whole Woodstock performance where you had Alanis Morissette blended in there with like DMX, Limp Bizkit, Rage, Like, I mean, it's just such, like, that was the popularity of female artists. I think was this era of female artists was like the turning point before it became commercialized sex appeal, basically.
Yeah.
Like they
and
actually
she didn't give a fuck either.
She didn't. But you know what the funny thing is? Alanis Morissette wasn't really like that. Like that was almost like a persona for her music ability, because she was actually a very well spoken. Like she's been on several interviews I see, like very put together. Wasn't like how she was perceived in her music.
Yeah.
But Jagged Little Pill, I honestly, I've heard the stories multiple times about this. I think it's funny that I never saw that quote, 55 people can take credit. I mean, that's kind of like...
That's kind of whorish.
What are you trying to say there? But then I also look at where we stand today with music from female artists, and this was as tame as it could have came.
Let's make a stance here on this season.
Yes.
Let's not talk about how bad female music is nowadays. Or not female music, but you know what I mean. Like to the likes of like Cardi B.
Which is not even give them recognition.
Yeah, not even give them recognition. Because I feel like every time we do it, it's like Freddy Krueger. Like if you keep saying his name, it gives him power.
Stronger. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Like that's kind of what it is. Like if we say like Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B.
Honestly, though, this was for relevance purposes because I need people to be brought back to know. Because actually, my recommendation for this evening is going to be a female-led band.
Okay.
So I just think in context, at this moment, it's okay. But yeah, I agree with you.
You know,
we need to keep Freddie. Give it the Freddie treatment.
Give it the Freddie treatment.
That's the Freddie treatment. All right.
So, yeah, I guess that concludes our On This Day in Music History.
Yes.
Now, do you want to segue us into this?
Yeah, I was going to say, because that song you ought to know, right? So, going to the idea of albums' greatest hits. Mm-hmm. What I usually do in this sense, because it's great now with the way we have streaming networks like Spotify, and I use Apple Music personally, but just that ability to, you know, you're listening to an album, you like 3 songs on it, creating a playlist.
all the beautiful streaming platforms that house our show.
Yes.
Thank
Respect
you.
to all of them. But I love the idea of creating a playlist. Now, the thing about it is, I think the art of the playlist is an underrated tactic.
Yes.
I think, obviously everybody does it to a point where it's like, I'm getting in the shower, making this playlist. I just got fucking dumped, making this playlist. Lost my puppy, making a playlist. Like driving. And we'll get down to the driving one because I think what we'll do to end this is make a playlist for our fans. We'll have kind of like a draft order and how we pick. But
I got a pretty decent.
Yeah, I'd like to just hear, though, like your idea of a playlist before we get into this.
Well, before we start talking about the playlist, let's talk about its humble origins.
Well, it's going to go dated back further than what we'll discuss, but we'll talk about our time with the playlist.
In the days of yesteryear, in tape trading and burning CDs and recording shit off of the radio.
Pause for 1 second just because you said burning CDs. I saw a meme that said, I asked my 12-year-old nephew if he knew what burning CDs was. And he said, it's when you light a CD on fire. And today was the day I realized I'm fucking old. So I was like, nah, that's bullshit. Like these kids fucking... Dude, I hit my 16-year-old nephew up.
Yeah.
And my 12-year-old nephew up. The first one immediately, because he's just humble about it, immediately said, no idea what that means. He's 16. Like, that's a 13-year age gap where already we're at that point.
That's
not even knowing the concept. But my 12-year-old nephew, and I shit you not, literally said what the fucking meme said. He said, I know what it is, because he was like a little cocky about it.
Yeah.
So my sister asked him, like, what does it mean? It means lighting a CD on fire. I'm like, that's literally what the meme said. So now I was like upset that like these kids have to know now.
Yeah.
So now here we are. Sorry to pause you on that, but the world.
It's just so funny. I mean, because I never thought that we'd be old.
No.
Like I was like, oh fuck this.
I listen to our like parents talk about like I remember when I had to get my 8-track.
Well, like I feel like at least for me and you, we have like a music taste that won't ever seem like we're old to like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not like our favorite band is Kiss.
Yeah.
Like not for nothing.
Sister.
Right. At no fucking point ever is like Death or Cannibal Corpse going to be considered like classic rock or
music.
easy listening.
Even like the 90s wave that's getting put onto like 102.9 and shit. Like when you're hearing Nirvana and stuff.
Oh my
Pearl
God.
Jam. I'm worried that'll get blended into that sense.
I heard Bush on fucking 102.9 the other day.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Was it Glycerine?
Yeah, actually it was.
Yeah, usually.
Because Nicole's like, what? She's like, what's the song called? I was like, Glycerine.
Yeah.
But yeah, like burning CDs, dude, I remember like back when I first met the previous co-host that used to be on this show, he immediately burned me a greatest hits of Nirvana.
Yeah.
Like just pulled everything. I mean, granted, there was like a lot of shit that I really didn't want to hear.
Of course.
But like nowadays it would be like, all right, well, you know what? I'll make a playlist on YouTube and I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
I'll text it to you.
It's great.
Or, hey, go onto my Spotify.
It's fucking
I
great.
made a Nirvana playlist.
I am absolutely for it because of that opportunity exposure. Because you remember when I had the Blazer, I used to make like the punk mixes all the time. So
oh my God,
like,
you had the giant book.
Oh yeah, dude. And I'd always like burn complete albums because I became an album person later on in high school. But I always had mixes, always. And like the art of a playlist, it's so weird. Like you'll even see it with the songs that I picked for our playlist. Like, depending on what I'm doing, I almost have to order every playlist almost like it's going to run as a set list for a show. But I also have to bear in mind that it's probably going to be 15 different bands. So I also have to like almost get it in like thematic sense where it's like, dude, I'm like very OCD with like the playlist setup. However, I do have a playlist currently, and this is, again, what's great about the streaming things. You can just, like, say, hey, Siri, like, add this to my whatever.
Yeah.
And I'll do that from time to time. Like, I'll listen to some things on shuffle. I'll just, like, put a certain band on, and a song will come up that I haven't heard in a while, and I'll just, like, all right, add that to a playlist.
Yep.
And I literally have a playlist on my phone now that probably has 212 songs that I just keep adding to. And what I do is sometimes when I'm driving or I'm at home, I'll just press shuffle on it, and it's like an opportunity to just hear all these songs. And that's what's great about
That's
playlists.
what I do on my Spotify.
Think about it, because what could you do? Like 80 megabyte CDs, you could fit, 60 minutes? I think 60 minutes was like max on
Well,
most
that's
CDs.
if you had it as MP3 files, but if you saved it as like a data file, you could fit like 100.
Of course. Or if you were listening to punk bands that were like minute-long songs, then you could fit a good solid 20, 30
You could fit
songs.
fucking like 20 band discographies on a fucking CD.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, that was always the best. Like, because our former co-host used to be like, yo, I can get you Doolittle and Surfer Rose on like one CD. And I'd be like, that's fucking great. Because like we knew the runtime was like specific where this could fit literally perfect.
With seconds to spare.
Seconds to spare, you know? Or like you have to cut one song off and be like, but here's the one song. If you ever want to listen to it, it's close enough, you know? But then it was a love language too, man. Like girls that I met, like that was a big thing for me. Like you didn't have the opportunity to share songs like you do now. Copy and pasting a YouTube clip, you know, direct sending from Apple Music, Spotify, or sending a link of any sort. You know, now you had to like just like burn a CD and like, here, listen to this.
What's some of the cringiest shit you ever put on a playlist for a chick or a fucking burn CD?
The cringiest shit?
Yeah. Like I probably
Britney Spears.
Really?
Yeah.
What song?
Toxic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I did Spice Girls for a while early on. Because you have to understand, when I was younger trying to get in relationships, I had to base everything off my sister, what she listened to.
Oh, okay.
So like I would go through her downloads, and she was huge into the Spice Girls, huge into Britney Spears. She was also huge into Eminem. But like this is where I'm sending it to a girl.
Yeah, well,
You know
that's
what I mean?
old Eminem.
Yeah.
Like it all.
Yeah,
it
it was
all
Marshall
depends.
Mathers, some shady, you know.
Yeah, like what image were you trying to portray?
Exactly.
Like,
I don't
hey,
wanna,
if you wind up dating me, I'm probably going to kill you.
Exactly. Yeah, couldn't send her Stan and just like basically about a
Or
guy
Kim.
killing his fucking girlfriend and throwing her in the trunk. But yeah, so yeah, Spice Girls and Britney Spears, I think because I didn't know shit.
Yeah.
They didn't know shit. I was like, this girls like this, I'm going to send this to them. And I was young, so.
I remember I used to send like stupid shit, like fucking like Everlong acoustic. Be like, listen, like if you want to like,
all right, so you
like
okay,
this is how I really feel.
that's a very Tool-y move.
Yeah,
Yeah, that I wouldn't put that on Cringe. That's like you trying to.
yeah,
You're the guy at the bar, like, hey, you know what I mean? Like that is like the Toolest move ever.
or like just stupid shit. Like I remember like putting just dumb fucking songs on CDs because like at certain points like you're trying to be cool. Like I'm trying to think, like I put like Slaughter's "Fly to the Angels," and it's just like, well, because you never heard of Slaughter before.
So two of mine for cringy, dumb, just for random playlists.
Yeah.
Big Balls by AC/DC and I Want to Fuck a Dog by Blink-182.
That's funny.
Do you remember that song?
Yeah.
I wanna fuck a dog. Like, dude, because like that was the thing. Like early on, you just like trying to be edgy and like send shit to your friends. Like, you have to listen to this dude.
Yeah.
He's so fucking cool and badass and like not mainstream.
Yeah, right. Remember, I used to do that shit with a lot of Bloodhound Gang songs.
Oh yeah, Bloodhound Gang was huge, dude. That was a huge one.
Yeah, but like probably the cringiest shit I've ever sent to a chick was fucking Everlong acoustic.
Everlong acoustic.
Yeah, like the version that was in like Little Nicky.
Oh, I know the version. God damn. It's pretty bad.
That used to be my fucking go-to for a long time.
Yeah, I did the If You Want to Be My Lover.
If you want to be my lover.
Yeah. Just like because I'm thinking back when I started making my own playlist and like the way I got serious about it. I'm just thinking back like when I first downloaded LimeWire, and then you'd have to drag everything over to your like Windows files and then put in the CD.
Yeah.
And I just remember just like dragging and dropping with no fucking care in the world, totally reckless. Had no idea what I was doing and the gravity of a fucking playlist.
You had no idea the amount of fucking firepower you were playing.
It got so disturbing later on with the iPods when the 160 gig colored iPods came out, because then I had to have album covers for everything. I had to like come up with like album art if I had some random playlist just for it to coincide. Dude, it was fucking nuts, man. And that was the thing though, because that was the start of like where you could just like hold on to that fucking song with the center button, send it to a playlist.
Yep.
And that was so fucking cool to me because you figured otherwise all you were doing was scrolling through your iPod, and you would find like Lil Wayne's name 6 different JPEG,
MP3.
like MP3. Yeah, it'd be like Lil Wayne featuring Lil Wayne F this guy, Lil Wayne feat this guy. Like nobody just condensed it. So you had to scroll through people's iPods to that point. And like I got so serious about it that I made sure everyone had a single artist name. I made sure albums were in direct order by like editing. So the playlist options were so great because sometimes like I want to listen to one song off this album.
Yeah.
And it's over and the next and I'm like, I don't want to listen, I gotta go back and do this. So like the playlist thing for me was just like, you know, you're going from CDs to iPods. That was so fucking cool, man, because now you're holding 30,000 songs in your fucking pocket. And that felt like, dude, unbelievable.
I mean, honestly, I never really did like that's a lie. I did do the, you know, like mixtapes and shit and like the CDs, but every time I'd be in a car, I'd be in the car with like my dad or some shit. So I
can't even play it.
Yeah, so I'd have to like dumb it down, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of like Rob Zombie.
I've done that too with like my stepmom.
Yeah.
I burned classic rock, like stuff I liked, but
Yeah.
just you ain't gonna be hearing Evil Dead by Death.
Exactly.
Right now.
Like I'm sitting there and like occasionally I would like throw in like a fucking zinger or two. Like, you know, at that point in time, like when my dad was like super into fucking Rob Zombie and White Zombie, like, hey dad, if you like White Zombie and Rob Zombie, I found this band Death.
Try to ease
There's
into
this
it.
song.
Oh, you went from White Zombie to Death. You should have gone Sepultura first. You got to find that bridge band,
dude. I was like, well, at that point in time, like I was like dick hard about Death. I was like,
Jesus Christ.
I was like, Dad, just hear it out. Band called Death, song called Symbolic, really fucking good. I think you might like it.
No go.
Nope, he was not a fan of that. That went over a lot better than the time I put Death Walking Terror by Cannibal Corpse on a fucking playlist. Because, like, dude, there would be times like I'm sitting there, like, I test my luck. Like, all right, you know, like, Job for a Cowboy was pretty big, and, like, that Doom EP came out, and I was like, all right, I'll throw in Knee Deep, I'll see what he thinks. And he's like, no, he wasn't about it.
Yeah, you got to find, like, that middle ground of, like, Demolition Hammer or Sepultura, like, where it's kind of clean
like,
and a little more catchy.
For some reason, he was less okay with Pantera than he was with Death.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like I remember I got Cowboys from Hell.
That's weird.
Like it was like one of the first CDs I bought, and I put it on the truck. He's like, this is fucking this is garbage. And I'm like, Dad,
I remember the
Pantera.
days too. Speaking of Pantera, remember we used to sit in the back of Groove Ground in the Blazer.
Yeah,
blasting my CD.
Stir it up.
Oh, that's what a Groove Grounds. Groove Grounds in Collingswood. It's another fucking joint. All these fucking coffee shops, dude. But yeah, stir it up, man. Good times.
Yeah.
So, thought what we'll do is we'll rock paper scissors shoot.
Okay.
See who goes first. We're gonna make a 10-song playlist, back and forth.
Okay.
So whoever wins goes first, blah, 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 back and forth, make a 10-song playlist.
Okay.
And then we'll share it with our listeners and let them judge. And judge harshly.
All right.
Ready? Best of the one. Just one and done.
Okay.
Damn. Did
All
the
right.
paper.
Number 1.
Bill wins, by the way. You can't see that because there are technical issues.
Yeah.
But
of course.
Bill threw paper over my sad rock.
Number 1 is Romeo Delight. That's a good, like,
My favorite.
you fucking start up the car.
My favorite Van Halen song. Yes.
And like you put the car in fucking drive and like
Yep.
you're going. It's like the beginning scene to a movie.
Yes.
You know?
Yep.
It's funny because I was stuck because that was the way I was thinking about this playlist is my number 1 song. Because there's 2 number 1s. Or, I mean, obviously there's Romeo Delight and that's it. But the second number 1 would have been Walk With Me in Hell from Lamb of God.
That's a good opener too.
Because I always think of I think it's Philadelphia or one of the other documentaries that they did, and it's like them like in the bus driving down the fucking road, and it's like
I think that's the Philadelphia live DVD.
no, because Philadelphia came out before Sacrament. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it was all ashes and
Yeah, it was after Philadelphia. I forget. No, it was the Making of Sacrament video.
Okay.
The Making of Sacrament documentary. I always thought like that instrumental in the beginning of Walk With Me in Hell is like the like ultimate fucking like opening.
It
that
is a
or
great,
Laid to Rest.
It is a great Laid to Rest. Even Omerta.
Dude,
Omerta has it just
Omerta's got a special spot in a playlist.
okay. So my opener, because I thought the same exact thing. The sound that you want when you're getting your car on and you're just getting started, and I picked Black Sunshine by White Zombie.
Nice.
The wheels of his Mustang exploding on a highway like a slug from a 45. True death. Maximum horsepower. Like, dude, it's just... Because then it's like... That bass line, the build up. I think Black Sunshine... There was 2 songs at this option because I like that intro of that, like, slow build up. And then it, like... I also, the reason why I'm putting this in perspective too is like my drive on the turnpike. So to get here, I drive 100 miles. It's a fucking daunting drive.
Yeah.
It's just dead straight. It's boring as fuck. You disassociate behind the wheel dude, I like looked up at the sky just to get my eyes off the road, and it was just like a perfect sky today. And it just, dude, it like almost like lost focus of what the fuck I was doing because my eyes were just so dead to like what was going on because I was just driving for 100 miles straight.
Yeah.
But Black Sunshine, I think that is definitely my opening track.
My number 2 track is Twilight of the Thunder God from Marth. It's just like one of those things like there's such like an anthemic and like epic type band that like you want to have something like that in the very beginning of your playlist to pump you up.
You got to see them live too, so
yeah, that
you get to understand.
I mean, I've always been a fan of them, but then I saw them live, and it was like I get it.
That is that moment too, because I had never seen them live too, and I was already a fan. After I saw them live the second time with you, when you were.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Dude, my beard grew like 2 inches after seeing them.
Yeah. I couldn't even grow facial hair at all before, and now all of a sudden, like, there's just hairs popping out of my face like a 14-year-old Spanish kid.
Like, it was either going to be Twilight of the Thunder God or Crack the Sky.
Crack the Sky is good. Mine, honestly, if I ever picked a Mon Marth song, it's either Death and Fire or The Fate of the Norns, which is the opening track to, I believe, the same album title. But Death and Fire, so good.
Yeah. Dude, they're just one of those bands, dude. They get overlooked all the fucking time.
They're like the Motorhead of death metal. Like, they're just consistent. They produce the same shit every time. It's just they have a theme to it, and they don't fucking stray from it.
Their documentary is really good.
Very good.
Very, very good.
And all their live performances, man, even on recording, are so fucking great.
Dude, it's actually funny. If those of you listening to this show now like Amon Amarth, if you type in Amon Amarth, Camden, New Jersey, when did we see them? 2018?
I thought 2019.
Okay, yeah. If you type in Amon Amarth, Camden, New Jersey, 2019, you can see me walking through the crowd.
I'm really pissed because I got a video of when they were doing the Viking ships. I had just got there to the lawn when they started doing that.
Shit.
And I was going to go over there.
That fucking made it like all over the world.
I know. And I was standing 10 feet from it, dude. I literally just got there because we missed Cannibal Corpse. I showed up super late.
No, that's the fuck up thing. It wasn't even super late. They put them on first, and the show started at 4 on a Wednesday.
But we knew what time it started.
Yeah, but I honest to God thought the Cannibal Corpse would play after Amon Amarth.
Which would have sucked because if I missed any one of those bands and I missed Cannibal Corpse, it both sucked. Yep. I've seen Cannibal Corpse before though, so like that was cool. And Amon Amarth I saw one time prior, but I don't even really remember it.
Yeah.
And also they had just come out with that new album that I was trying to get into, so I was like hoping to hear some shit.
Yeah.
Great show though.
Berserker.
Good album. So my second one, and you're not probably knowing of this, so we'll talk about it briefly because I'm going to show you this afterwards.
Okay.
Because I forgot to bring this up when we were talking hip hop a while back. But the name of the song is called First Day Out. It's by T Grizzly.
Okay.
You'll understand why I picked this song because me and you were on the same basis with like that upbeat song.
Yeah.
So the intro starts off like real slow, and then once it picks up to him rapping, dude, it's got such a fucking good beat to it. The lyrics are like, you can hear every single word. And like once, like I've listened to it so many times, I get the lyrics in my head, especially when I'm driving through Newark and shit.
Yeah.
I'll be blasting that shit like by the bus stops because by the time my first track's done, that's coming on right before I get on the fucking turnpike. And I got dudes at the bus like, yo, motherfucker, yeah, T Grizzly. But dude, this song, I'm going to show it to you afterwards, man. You'll absolutely understand why it's on here.
Nice. My number 3 is friend of the podcast, Paul Bartolome, released a song called Time Bomb with Kellen Quinn of Sleeping with Sirens. It just has like one of those, it's just like that, it's like an upbeat song that you can sing along to. And if you have someone in your car that like isn't into, you know, Amon Amarth or Van Halen or, you know, any of that shit, this is going to be the song that'll be like, okay, so you're diverse in your music opinions. I like that. I like this drive. This wasn't a bad idea.
Yes.
By the way, where are we going?
Exactly. Just nowhere. Where we're going, we don't need good music.
But yeah, my number 3's got to be my buddy Paul.
So, based on this being a 5 song for me, I found the middle ground. Now, this is where introspection starts.
Okay.
This is where you pick the song where you're in the upbeat already. Now you need that song where you got to sit there for a moment, just like, what is life, man? You're on this long road trip. Sun's starting to creep down a little bit on you. Probably heading to the beach or something. So I picked the title track "Lateralis" by Tool.
Oh, okay.
Because it's got such a healthy blend of like the slow build-up intro, the heavy fucking verse riff, the chorus riff, the quick build-up bridge before Danny carries like solo, and then that slow like ethereal sense at the end, all into the build-up of like spiral out, keep. But so Lateralis, I always find like that song's on like almost every random playlist I make, because anytime it comes on, it's like the perfect moment of when I'm just like, yeah, man, fuck her. Or like, you know what? I can do better.
That's so funny. My number 4 is Omerta.
Okay, so
yeah,
okay.
Because the way that I usually roll out my playlists, well, there's usually no real order because I just shuffle everything, but there is points to where like I'll just start skipping shit until like I find what I want to listen to.
That's
and
what I
9
do.
times out of 10, if I find Omerta,
You stop.
I stop and I listen to it.
Whoever peels, as soon as you hear his voice,
the
dude,
second
yeah,
that
yeah,
comes
yeah.
on, I'm like, okay, now I'm listening to this now, and that's usually towards like the end of my drive for some reason, because like I've already listened to all the bullshit that I did, and now like I want to fucking groove. Like
So
I
good.
want to just fuck shit up in my work van.
That was the first song I ever heard by Lamb of God, and I'm telling you right now, man, it's a song you could show basically anybody if you're trying to get them into it.
I caught my wife tapping her fucking fingers to it the other day.
Absolutely.
I was like, oh, I thought you didn't like Lamb of God. Shut up.
Great song.
Great. Fucking insane song.
So now the way I see this is the last 2 songs, what I typically like to do is I need another pickup song after the introspection. So because this is recent in my discovering of this band, this song has also been making it on every fucking playlist I make for shower, for bed, whatever, because it's heavy, but it's like catchy thrash, and it's Crossbreaker by Power Trip. Because Power Trip, man, I'm like really fucking upset. Like I didn't get into this band when I had a chance to. I don't even know how they toured even before Riley Gale's death, but if there was ever an opportunity, if I knew what I knew now, I'd be at any fucking show that was even semi-local.
Yep.
And I saw, it's cool. Like I saw Power Trip do some things with the guys from Obituary.
Okay.
They did Executioner, Swing of the Axe. But the song Crossbreaker, I had just recently watched a live video where they play like 4 or 5 songs, and it was the first time I heard Crossbreaker was in this live session, and it was like one of their like known songs. So ever since I heard it, dude, every playlist. It's fucking catchy, it's thrashy, it's like aggressive, but it's not blast beats and fucking, the whole song, but it keeps you start to get a little tired on the road.
Now, see, it's funny too, because the end of my playlist here, my number 5 song is I'm the Man.
Oh, Anthrax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just like one of those like you're feeling goofy, like you're getting towards like the end of your shit, like you already listened to the brutal stuff, you've already fucking sung, and now you're just fucking goofy.
Yes.
And we take no shit. And it's just like, okay, I can fuck with this.
Anthrax, I'm telling you, man, just anywhere I see with Anthrax being compared in that whole Big Four scene, they get so much fucking heat of being like the worst. Exodus should have been there. Testament should have been there. Now, I agree. Like Exodus, Testament, all those bands should have just as much credibility as any of the other ones. But dude, Anthrax is fucking good, man. Like everyone hates on Joey Belladonna compared to, any of those musicians in the top 4. I would take Joey Belladonna probably over 3 out of 4.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Joey Belladonna is the fucking only one that's actually a legitimate singer.
Yes.
Like,
but he
he's
has like
actually a
that
good
range
singer.
where he can do a thrash.
You know that he does like a Journey tribute band, right?
Yeah.
I think I told you that before. Yeah.
I didn't know that. But it was
Like
funny
he's
as
a
well.
legitimately good singer.
He is very good.
I just think the problem and why people fucking hate on Anthrax is because they never reached like the critical success of the other bands of the Big Four.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, I think I'd take Anthrax over Megadeth.
I think so too. Overall,
Like from start to finish, even if you put on Sound of White Noise.
The only thing is, and it sucks, is I'm not going to be able to see Megadeth as a prime art like act, and especially everything that just happened recently.
Yeah.
But Megadeth is touring again. They have re-announced that show, which sucks that Hatebreed replaced In Flames.
That sucks.
Because I would love to have seen In Flames. But I would love this. I've never seen Megadeth. And I think that's going to be a pushing point for me because I also know fucking Dave's live vocals, from what I've seen, are always like hit or miss, dude.
He wasn't bad when I saw them.
Yeah, so I'm hoping when I see them live, because I've seen Anthrax live 4 times, and they've always just been on a bill for another band I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping when I see Megadeth, if I get that opportunity, like something changes, because like Megadeth is that good, but I hate that they're always like way surpassing Anthrax in terms of like great thrash.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't know. Well, what I think the deal is with Anthrax and Megadeth is the fact that Megadeth always has like ridiculous guitar players.
Oh, well, the instrumentals,
like
in comparison,
ridiculous,
are like nowhere compared. Like Scott Ian could never.
Yeah, but what Scott Ian has that Dave Mustaine will never have is that fucking brutal right hand.
Yeah,
Scott Ian, his fucking guitar tone is just crushing.
Yes,
like it is like the epitome of brutal.
Yeah,
honestly, I think Scott Ian has a better guitar tone than anybody in the Big Four. Not guitar abilities, guitar tone.
Okay.
Like you listen like Spreading the Disease and shit. I think maybe the only
Among the Living though is like,
Among the Living's good too.
Yeah, it's so good.
But I think honest to God, in my opinion, the only guitar tone that's better than that is And Justice for All.
True.
That fucking super overdriven Mesa fucking tone.
Season of the Abyss is pretty dope too.
Yeah, but I don't know, dude. They're like,
I think Kerry King is what murders a lot of the abilities because Jeff Hanneman's abilities are just so overshadowed.
And even now with Gary Holt, or then with Gary Holt.
Yeah.
And Gary Holt's probably the best guitar player out of any one of those, and any of those guys. Obviously, besides like Marty Friedman or Chris Broderick from Megadeth.
Yeah. I was gonna say, okay.
I was gonna say because Marty Friedman's like a whole nother fucking level.
Megadeth had some fucking talent there, dude. So yeah, my last song. And this is like the sun's going down. The drive is almost over. I picked The Killing Moon by Echo and the Bunnymen.
Okay.
Many of you will know this as the original intro to the first version before they re-released it somehow with a different song of Donnie Darko. It's the intro.
Yeah.
When he's like waking up all strange and shit. But The Killing Moon, Echo and the Bunnymen, I try to find like an alternative track because, I mix it up with, White Zombie, fucking T Grizzly, Tool. And then I wanted to put The Killing Moon on here because I've listened to this song so many times, and same thing with Omerta. Like, I'm going through my playlist. Like I said, there's like 200 some songs on there. So sometimes I'm just always skipping because I just got to feel a song. But I keep all these songs on there because I never know when it's going to hit me. But The Killing Moon always comes on at the right time. Like I'm on hit like mile marker 16.
Yeah.
2 more miles until exit 2. You know what I mean? And it comes on and it's just like a chill fucking end of my ride, dude, every time. The solo in the song, the flow of the song, it's just like feels... Every song I have like has a feel to it that like has to fit a mood. So like if I was picking a direct order, that's my last song.
Nice. So what are we gonna do? Are we gonna take are we gonna go like my one, your one,
literally
my 2, your 2? Okay,
the way we drafted it.
So let's write it down here. We're gonna do first one's gonna be Romeo Delight. What was your number 1 again?
Black Sunshine.
That's funny. Then Twilight of the Thunder God. Then what was yours?
First Day Out, T Grizzly.
Then Time Bomb.
Lateralis, Tool.
Omerta.
Crossbreaker, Power Trip.
Then I'm the Man.
And then Killing Moon.
It is kind of funny though, for how different our playlists were. Like they're
same
kind
flow.
of it has like the same
flow,
exact same flow.
Yep,
that is really funny.
Yeah, I think that's what's interesting. I would love to see because like I did this actually in one of my classes for school. What I did was like stereotypes.
Yeah,
I talked about the stereotypes and the understanding of music and how it evolved, and it was funny because at the end of the day, like there was like there's black dudes there's white dudes there's like Latina chicks there, like in this class that I was in. So what I asked everybody to do was write 3 songs on a piece of paper blindly, hand them to me. I was going to read off all 3 songs. Everybody had to guess who was the one who chose those songs. So like one dude, like it was funny because like, you know, like one guy picked like Green Day and, you know, All Time Low and like Newfound Glory or something were 3 songs. Yeah. So everyone picked this like white kid sitting in the corner. Wasn't him. It was like some black dude with dreads that was over on the other side, and he was like dead ass and listened to it. And I thought it was interesting because like we do have these stereotypes. Yeah. And it's the same thing with like playlists. I think every person, if they're into music even remotely, have a sense in how they create a playlist. Yeah. And like we just proved that right there. We didn't pick a single same song. No. But we had the same exact idea.
We didn't pick the same artist.
Not even. Yeah, it's crazy. But we literally had the same plan in what we were trying to establish. Yeah. In 5 songs.
That's so funny.
That's cool. Very cool.
Well, what do you think? Do you not agree with our playlist? I mean, then again, the music's up to interpretation. It's whatever you want it to be. But
all right, Plato over there with your philosophical. You need like a fucking corncob pipe and a monocle when you said that.
I would listen to this playlist. We need like Mike Rochburns in here. Yeah, I mean, so what do you think? Give us your top 10s. What would be on a playlist for your drive? Or even if you don't feel so inclined to do 10, do 5.
What's your walking playlist?
Yeah.
What's your just, you know what? I got to do grocery shopping today.
I'm going to Wawa. Yep. Or your respective
or even if you're selling
store.
Crack on the block. We can be honest here. We're a safe space.
The truth tree.
Yeah, the truth tree.
Get at us on our social media accounts, Instagram and Twitter at RATM Podcast, Facebook.com/RATM Podcast, and our email at ratmpodcast@gmail.com. But that concludes this topic. Let's get into our suggestions for this week. Would you like to start us off here, Steven?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier in the show, I was going to recommend a female-led band. I recently just like rediscovered them, and I've been really getting back into their stuff. The band is L7. The album I'm recommending is their 92 release, Bricks Are Heavy. The song that I'm recommending is Shit List.
Okay. It's funny. I never thought about L7. Like, it's not, I mean, yeah. It's not a band that I think of.
Well, it's funny because, like, again, pages I follow on Instagram will post a live show of a certain band, and that song came on. I'm like, wow, dude, I forgot how fucking good this was. And I was literally just talking to a girl about, like, Fiona Apple and, you know, like just like female-led acts. And, you know, then we were talking about like the 90s movement. And I was like, that's so weird because that's literally what that was a female-led act, part of like that grunge alternative movement.
Yeah. That's funny.
Great stuff.
I think you're going to dig my suggestion for this week.
Okay. Spice Girls?
Yeah, actually. The 1990 album Cause of Death from Obituary song Chopped in Half.
Chopped in half. Feel the blood spill from
Chopped in half.
Yeah, it's cool. Now that you brought that up, you got to check out the cross with the singer from Obituary and Power Trip.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
It's funny that you mentioned the Obituary.
Yeah, he literally does not change his vocal style, so it literally sounds like the dude from Obituary singing for... It's just cool, like because it works. Funny. It fucking works. Great pick, though.
So... That's another episode of Rage Against the Mainstream Podcast for the books. What do you guys think? Do you like season 4 so far?
Is it any different?
I mean...
We're just limiting you from our movie choices. You don't need to hear about this anymore.
I mean, I think that saves like a good couple minutes and a lot of aggravation for a movie that might suck.
And hopefully soon we'll be on camera. I'll have to start
One day we'll get this figured out.
Yep. I'll have to start wearing pants.
Yeah, same here.
Yep.
Well, the only problem with that is that this is actually my house and you're just showing up.
Yeah, that's weird.
But until then, this is another episode of Rage Against the Mainstream Podcast for the books. Once again, you can find us on our social media accounts, Facebook.com/RATM Podcast, Instagram and Twitter at RATM Podcast, or our email. You can write us a nice little letter. Tell us, you know, how we're a reputable source for music insight and opinion, or how we're not, or, you know, you have any suggestions for, you know, potential video cameras or offerings to get us on YouTube, maybe some helpful hands, if you will. RATM Podcast.
Any press is good press.
RATMPodcast@gmail.com. But until then, this is another episode of Rage Against the Mainstream Podcast for the books. As always, I'm Bill.
I'm Steve.
Have a good night, guys. Thanks for listening.